What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing great. Hopefully you had a great Easter Sunday, Easter weekend as well. Today I want to talk about, first up, some of the news real quickly, and then we're going to talk about the Fireknight specific tournament. So first things first, on Tuesday, which is tomorrow at the time of this video being recorded, April 11th, 10x chance to get more 2 from Sacred and Ancient Shards. Also, on Wednesday, April 12th, 10x chance to get Hegemon from Void Shards. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm a huge fan of Hegemon, one of my most wanted champions. However, he's not as good as he used to be. He's kind of fallen off, not because he's been nerfed or changed, but because the meta in the arena has changed quite a bit. So still a champion I want, but not a champion I'm going to wail for. And I have, let's see, I have 9 shards. So there's 0 chance that I'm actually going to pull a Hegemon, though we may have to pull during the weekend for the upcoming fusion. But we'll see about that as the time gets closer. The next thing we have on Tuesday, April 11th, we're going to have a 2x chance to get immunity sets pieces from the Fireknight Castle. So that's going to overlap along with the faction-specific Fireknight tournament, as well as the 2x points in CVC. So it's actually a really good time to farm Fireknight. So as far as this tournament goes, this is going to be the main thing I want to talk about in today's video. We have 19 hours for you guys to prep a team. Fireknight is a great dungeon. I mean, probably one of the better dungeons, most farmed in-game dungeons especially. But I mean, we have tons of great gear sets. Stage 20 and Stage 25 are going to be the 2 I'm focusing on because hard mode Fireknight is a nightmare. Okay, so we're just going to do Stage 20 and 25, much more reasonable. But this is going to be using champions from the Corrupted Alliance specifically. This is amazing because any of these others would be pretty difficult. This is pretty easy. And we have Demon Spawn, Undead Horde, Dark Elves, and Night Revenants. So let's go ahead and jump in here, show you guys the 2 teams that I'm going to be giving you all as options, and then we'll talk about some champions that you could possibly use to get this done a little bit easier. Maybe some ideas that you didn't think of, but to be honest, Fireknight's gonna be super easy. Mithrala, Lydia, 3 Cold Hearts, and you're gonna have a smooth time, okay? Now, this is not speed-tuned. It's literally just the builds I already had, just thrown into a team. Now, when you do this, make sure if you ever have any food champions in any runs you do, that you're using champions, food champions from those specific factions. So round 1, Mithrala, round 2, round 3, round 1 on Lydia, round 2 and round 3, round 1 on Cold Heart, round 2, round 3, round 1 on Cold Heart 2. They're all the same. All the Cold Hearts are the same. Cold Heart, boom, boom, boom. So let's go ahead and try this team out. The few times that I ran it, it was taking like a minute and 20 seconds, maybe a minute 15, somewhere around there. You could gear the Cold Hearts to be faster than the wave clears. You could bring in a Kymar. You could bring in an actual damage dealing champion like Magnar. Magnar could be a very good option. Just one-shot the waves, get you to the boss, break down the shield, and destroy the Fireknight with the Cold Hearts. I mean, it's a pretty simple run. Lydia, decreased defense. Mithrala, placing the Hex on everybody, making them take a little bit more damage. I mean, it's pretty simple. Pretty straightforward to the point. The Fireknight doesn't get his shield back. You have Cold Hearts 4-hitting on the A1 ability. We have them prioritizing the A3. Typically, I never do that because if the Fireknight does get his shield back, it's a very bad situation because your Cold Hearts will Heartseeker into the shield if you have them set to the Heartseeker as #1 priority. But the reason why I set them to #1 priority here is because the turn meter of the Fireknight, I believe if it's below like 50% or maybe even 30%, the Cold Hearts won't Heartseeker, it seems. So I want them to be Heartseekering as much as possible. So I went ahead and set their presets to prioritize the Heartseeker. So there we go. Lydia did not place her decreased defense and weaken. Apparently I messed up her presets because she should have already done that, or they cleared the waves a little bit too quickly. Like I said though before, if this runs smoothly, it was taking a minute 20, I believe, a little bit longer because we had no decreased defense or weaken. Ideally, your Cold Hearts would be speed tuned. You could bring in a Kymar, it'd be speed tuned, but it's going to be a pretty fast time. It's going to help you clear that event very quickly. I mean, stage 20 is going to be the best as far as point efficiency. But let's say you're not so much worried about point efficiency. You want to double dip in some points. Maybe you want to get some champion training stuff, extra CVC points along the way. Just run this team right here. Now, like I said, you want to make sure if you're running any teams with food that you make sure the food is the faction that the event is asking for. So we have Demon Spawn, Dark Elves, Night Revs, and Undead Horde. So I'm going to come down here, pick some of these little dog things and this little other guy, purple guy, kind of a Draenei Thanos looking dude, and we're going to jump in here with our Allure as well as Dark Kale. So this is the stage 25 team. Allure plus Dark Kale, it's going to be a very consistent team. You do have a higher gear threshold than you do on the Cold Heart Lydia craziness, But it's not anything terrible. We have Dark Kale in all immortal gear. So 3 sets of 2 pieces of gear. All immortal stuff. I'll show you guys his gear afterwards. But he's like 50,000 HP, about 3.5 thousand defense, I think. We have Allure, also really good HP. She's in regeneration plus speed. I think she's sitting around that 50,000 HP. It's kind of like 50,000 HP, 3,200 defense-ish is kind of your goal. And then having good accuracy. 200 accuracy for stage 25. Resistance, I don't think I have it built for resistance on either of these 2 champions. We have some provokes going off. Not a huge deal, but hey, it is what it is. So here we go. Let this play out. We do have Allure set to use other abilities on this first wave. We don't want her always using that A1 because what happens, Plarium, you have some annoying waves. What happens is if she only uses that A1 ability, the Gnarl Horns place the unkillable in themselves, and then she just reduces their turn meter into infinity, not affinity, infinity. Okay? So then you come back 30 minutes, 40 minutes later, you're on turn 1,000. You're about to end the run because you've taken so many turns, but nobody's dead. It's just going to be awful. So make sure you have the Hellish Blaze going, the A2 ability going, everything, okay? You want her to cycle through as much as possible to prevent the loop of nonsense. Especially, man, on Fireknight stage 9, I think it was. I tried out some teams. There's a Kyoku in that wave that places block damage, and if you have turn meter reduction, Kyoku, not great. The block damage is very difficult to actually get through. This run has been about 3 minutes for me. So 3 minutes, duo, seemed to be very consistent. I did a video a while back testing these 2 champions. If you guys want to check it out, I'll try to leave it linked down below, but I'm pretty sure I did 100 runs-ish, and it was like 90-something% consistent. I need to double check that because if I didn't do it, I'm going to go back and test this and make sure I do it. But I've ran this team for a while. Very, very consistent. There's a few situations where Allure looks like, okay, maybe she needs to be a little bit more HP, a little bit more defense, but she ends up coming out of it, no problem. Right there, you can see her HP getting a little bit low. Like I said, it's happened before, happened plenty of times. There's no crits, so you don't have to worry any crits, no strong hits. It's either weak hits or normal hits. So it's usually looking pretty safe, but sometimes she does get a little bit low. But as far as the overall consistency, should be perfectly fine. And if you're worried about it, just bump up the HP, bump up the defense, give her some blood shield stuff, and it's going to be a lot safer, a lot more secure. I will link the video down below as far as the Dark Kale plus Allure team actually goes, so you can see the entire breakdown. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's like 97% consistent, maybe a little bit less, but I try to keep the duo videos to at least 95% consistent. So it's going to be really good either way. So this Allure does have Giant Slayer. We'll show everything once we get there. But once you get to the Fireknight, it's way faster. So much faster. Like, Dark Kale absolutely eats him up with these poisons. So as far as the knocking of the shield down goes, it's going to be fine. I mean, the champions have regeneration and immortal. So even if we get the decreased speed on us, we're still taking plenty of turns. We're still getting through everything. She's getting her HP basically taken back full. And if not, boom, not a huge deal. No decreased speed that time. Maybe if there's several decreased speeds, maybe it could get a little bit sketchy. But even if, as you see Dark Kale not doing his A1 ability every time, boom, we got 3 hits from the Fireknight, and we're still okay. Dark Kale, you really need to stop using that A3 ability. You really need to use that A1 because that's what would cause a fail. If anything was to cause a fail, that would be it. Him not cycling through to that A1 enough to actually hit the shield. It was a triple hitter on his A1 ability. But you can see he went through 2 Fireknight slams. Not a big deal. Perfectly fine. A little bit of destroyed HP. Obviously, they're not going to be able to keep that up forever. But eventually, they're going to break through it. Even with the 2 resists. Wow. This is actually probably the worst run that I've seen. And it doesn't even look that bad. I mean, we had 2 resists there from Allure. What the heck? I thought the Fireknight just got a turn. I guess he didn't. Sweet. Wait, did he? That was strange. It looked like an animation that he did, but I guess he didn't. I guess we broke the shield down and reduced his turn meter a little bit. Phantom Touch. Great mastery to have. Does count, I believe, as extra hits on the shield, which is very, very helpful if it does proc. Phantom Touch, Giant Slayer, 2 things you definitely need. So here we go. 5 minutes. That took a little bit longer. Definitely a little bit longer. Usually, it's about 3.5 minutes. Was it worth it? It's absolutely not worth it. We will roll that up, see if we get a triple or a quad roll, and go from there. But as far as the actual gear on these champions, as far as the presets, let's go over that first. So presets, round 1, round 2, and round 3. Boom. For Dark Kale, round 1, round 2, and round 3. There we go. Pretty easy stuff. As far as the actual gearing of these champions go, we have regeneration plus speed, almost 50,000 HP, about 3,000 defense. Speed, you want to make sure that you're as close as possible to 300 speed once you get to the boss, including spirit haste, everything like that. So try to push your speed. Honestly, I'd rather her be like 280, but it seems to be working fine as it is. So 300 speed is going to be your goal once you get to the Fireknight. This is Allure. This is her build. Regeneration and speed. The accuracy, she could use a little bit more. She has 193. Ignore defense. I've never seen this. Interesting. But she has 193 accuracy. I would rather have 200. 225 would be even better, kind of stopping those resists. But she does have this, so she will have an extra 20 accuracy because she's only using that A1 ability. Make sure she's at least 85% crit rate. It's going to be perfectly fine. For weak affinity enemies, you're going to have an extra 15%, so she's always going to crit as it is. No worries there. If you're going to use her in other areas, though, you do need to make sure that she's 100% crit rate. So as far as Dark Kale goes, he's 3 pieces of immortal gear. 3 sets, that is. I'll click through his gear real fast for you all. Here we go. We got some good ascension. Not really, honestly. Flat HP, not really good ascension. There's rings and stuff. Let's see what we got going on here. Triple rolls, boom. As far as the actual stats, 51,000 HP, good defense, good speed. He's fine with his speed, and then good accuracy. A little bit overkill on the accuracy. We could put it into some more survivable stats, but hey, it's working perfectly fine. Skills fully booked on Dark Kale. Masteries as follows. And then as far as this stuff down here, Giant Slayer, absolutely huge. Phantom Touch, pick that up. And then as far as Allure skills, they don't need to be booked. If you can get them booked, especially this A2, it will help you with the waves a little bit. But honestly, her A1's the most important, so you don't even have to book that. So guys, best of luck farming with the Fireknight stuff tomorrow. Good luck if there's actually a good reward worth going for. Hopefully there's a Void Shard. I know I look forward to seeing these events with the Void Shards. And this one, it's a pretty easy setup. I think this one's definitely worth going for. 2x immunity. We have double points in CVC. We have the specific event that's usually going to give better champions. And we got really good gear in Fireknight. So if you can go for it, great. Go for it. Campaign objectives. The heck is this? All right, 2x points if you clear chapter 12 stage 3, if you're doing some champion training, I guess. Do we have a champion training event? That'd be even better for the Allure. And oh, we do. 16 hours. It'll be done before CVC actually starts though. Thank you all very much for watching the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.